Hi guys, my name is Siobhan Evans Egan. I'm a psychic medium, shamanic practitioner, and spiritual life coach. I'm doing this video, which will be also shared on the International Mediumship page where I'm an admin, and is regarding some of the questions our members ask. So sometimes I put up a post just to ask if there's anything regarding your spiritual development, psychic medium development, in topics that I can discuss. That are things that I've experienced. That's the only way I can help, is with things that I've experienced. So anything that I talk about is only from my own personal experience and kind of how I deal with things. And if it helps, it helps. And if anyone has comments underneath that can help another person, then please do. So the two questions that put up, one was from a lady called Uma and another called Yvonne. And they're kind of similar questions. So one was from a lady called Uma, when she's saying that when she was around her family, and she kind of picks up on the energy around what's going on with her family, and when then she goes to connect with spirit, she's feeling out of place. She's feeling weird because she's not feeling zen enough in order to connect to spirit. And Yvonne put up a question or a statement kind of saying to her that at nighttime, what helps her is that she would ask spirits and angels to step in and to protect her energy as she sleeps, because her mother is currently going through a grief at the moment, and she has a sister who would probably drain her mother. And Yvonne is picking up on feelings and emotions regarding a member of the family. She knows who the member of the family is, so she's aware that these emotions are from that situation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this, about how our environment and how our people around us affect us. And I suppose from my own experience, I'm going to talk about this because I'm developing almost in my 20s, so it'll be almost 29 years. I began my healing journey, where I first stepped into a healer in my early 20s and just went, right, I have to start understanding what's going on here. I felt like I was a victim and the world was happening to me, and I had no choice in a lot of things. And my family were a cause of a lot of my pain. My friends were a cause of a lot of my pain. And beginning healing and beginning your healing journey and spiritual journey, whether it's through mediumship, whether it's through Reiki energy, through whatever work you do come to an understanding that we ourselves, me, my person, I am responsible for my emotions. I'm responsible for my feelings. I might not have control over the hand I was dealt with in this life, but I certainly have control over how I deal with that hand. So for the first, say, 10 years of the healing, starting off on that journey, it was raw, it was emotional, because those who are working for spirit or working in energy work in any type of service, in that sense where you're using your body as a vessel to either to read energy, to pass on communication, we have to become sensitive, more sensitive, and to energies and feelings and senses around us, so that we can read those things to help others. But what happens in our everyday life, we automatically become more sensitive. So we don't get to choose whether we pick up and sense good things, or we pick up and sense things that we would associate with being the feeling of bad. So it's like, it can kind of all get immersed in, and some days we can handle it, some days it doesn't affect me, and some days it can just completely drain me. So why is that? What is that's going on there? So sometimes, as I said, we have to look at our boundaries. I had no boundaries at the start of my healing journey, absolutely none. I had no idea what they were. I didn't like to say no to people. I was very empathic, so I was like absorbing people's pain instead of observing, and allowing people to do what they need to do to get through what they need to get through, and be able to be an observer in that situation instead of taking it on as my pain. So what I'm feeling here from Uma is the fact that this is another thing in what we do in spiritualism, and when we start developing ourselves, there's a misconception of, and I do think this is not just with Uma and Yvonne, this is with a lot of people where I've experienced this over the years, and even my family would associate me with this. They'd be like, well, you meditate, you work with spirit, you're a healer, why would you be affected? Why would you bother? Like, why are you so stressed? Because we're human beings. So we have to remember we're human beings, and we have to remember that everything around us, this whole world right now that we're in, is a schoolroom, it's a classroom. And we don't just learn when we tap into connecting with the spirit or spirit guides in that moment to do work. We are learning constantly, 24 hours a day, drawing things in, bringing things in, and working things through. So when our family, when we're around it, like certain things and it drains us and we have reactions, we have to take responsibility in a sense of how we react, how it makes us feel. These are feelings. Nobody in this world can make us feel a particular thing. They can intend to hurt. They can intend to do something. Outside there's a catalyst that can cause and we react. So it's, if we're feeling drained and say is reacting to her situation around her family of just feeling exhausted and just feeling completely wiped out, it's important to acknowledge why. And it's important to work with why you feel that. What I've learned over the years is when I go, I don't like this feeling, I don't like it, I don't want to feel it, I want nothing got to do with it. And what happens is we resist the resistance and that feeling gets worse. So I also found that by going in and trying to figure out what it is and where it's going, it's just we go down a rabbit hole. So in my native language, when we say that I am sad, we would say there is sadness upon me, tá brón orm. Or there is gladness or happiness, I'm happy or glad, would be tá áras orm. I have sadness or I have happiness upon me. So we don't own it. And it's the same in this when feelings arise in us that we don't like and it's kind of bringing up things. We have to allow it just to be. It's like having a house and you're having your home and a visitor calls, and that visitor could be anger, it could be depression, it could be victimhood, it could be anything that's related to your story. And we have that choice in a sense to kind of kick them out and ignore them, or just allow them to visit and to leave and know that they're visiting and leaving. So the thing that it has an effect, and Uma was saying that she doesn't feel zen enough to connect to spirit. Now, I just want to be clear on this because I'm not sure this wasn't clarified. Are you connecting to spirit to do a reading? Because we are human beings. We are not always going to be feeling 100% woo to the light and 100% great when we're doing readings. Absolutely not. And you're not supposed to. You're human. So I feel if it's affecting you doing your reading, in a sense, it's to acknowledge, okay, I'm not feeling really great today. I'm going to work through this and I'm going to do my very best in a reading to put my stuff to the side so that I can be fully here for this person. And you will manage it. You can do it. But if we judge our feelings and we go into this swirl of judging, I should be feeling this, I should be feeling that, you're going down the rabbit hole of just craziness. You're feeling it, that's the way it is, and we have to get on. There's a tool I use, it's a Linda Howe, Howe, Linda Howe meditation. It's 6 minutes. And it's a beautiful way I use, and I teach it in my classes, any class I do. And it's about just like drawing the energy up from the earth, drawing around you, but using your hands to warm it and to wipe it off. And it's physical and it's visual, and it's you making a decision. I am releasing this energy. I am no longer attached to it, and releasing it to let it go. So the fact that I'm just going to speak how it affects your readings. There are times here where I've had a full-blown argument with my husband just before coming in and doing a reading. There are times where I've been upset with my son and before I come in. So life is life, and we have to accept that it's not always going to be zen. There are so many things in the world right now going on that are not zen, and you to come in and sit in that energy and to read for someone. It's also to remember, please remember this, when we're doing a reading for someone, it's not always about spirit communication. It could be about soul to soul. So the fact that you might not be zen and feeling that lovely feeling of calm or that feeling of connection is to allow yourself, instead of arguing with your feeling, is to go, okay, this is so okay. I'm feeling this way. I'm not feeling too great, and I'm going to do my very best to let it release. Use little tools, use wiping down tools, use words, use prayer, whatever you find that works for you to make you feel that connection. So there's no magic tool. Every single person's human. We go through this. We have life things. And that's what makes us the readers we are, because we're being authentic. We're being real. Like, I'm not feeling great today, but I'm going to do my best to honor this person that's here for this reading and release what I can. So if you're picking up the energy and it puts you in that weird place, it's so okay. It's okay, because you have two things to deal with. One, you have to get on with it and do your reading and connect. Now, if this is the other thing that we do in developing in spiritual development, and we have to be very careful, because we are wounded healers for a very long time when we begin and start our journey. And we have to acknowledge that if we work with spirit or connect with spirit, that it's not a form of escapism, that it's not a form of, well, I'm feeling enlightened and I'm feeling connected to spirit, and that's better than what they're feeling, and they cause this and they do this and they're that. That's just pure spiritualist ego. If you already believe that your brothers, sisters, and humankind are separate from you are by these bodies, then you've lost the point of spiritualism, being a spiritualist or anything like that. I mean, connected. So your sisters, your brothers, your parents, every single person you meet in your day is your teacher. They will teach you to draw up and trigger things within you that need to be looked at and need to be healed. There could be things that are already sorted out, and it's okay. It just comes up and doesn't affect you. So every day is a healing day to learn forgiveness for self and forgiveness for others. Yvonne was talking about, as she said, when she's aware of what's going on in her family and she connects in with these feelings. As I said, when the more and more you work in your development, the more sensitive you are going to be. I wake up some mornings and I'll say to my husband, oh my God, the anxiety has just hit me, like floored me out of nowhere, but I'm very aware it's not mine. But let me talk about that for a second. The reason why I know it's not mine is because I know myself. I know my behavior. I know when it feels like that. Okay? Now, the worst thing I could do in that moment is try to figure out where it's coming from, or I just acknowledge someone around me close is going through this. And I might be aware of who it is, I might not be aware of who it is, but I'll acknowledge its existence and I'll just wish them well and allow them to go through what they need to go through. I don't try to change it. I don't try to turn it. I leave it be. And I always find out within a few minutes, a phone call, could be my sisters or whatever, and they're just going through a really bad time. Now, the other thing with this is that we have to remember is, because Yvonne was saying that she feels the knots in her stomach, we wouldn't know what that is unless we experienced it. So even with Uma and all those feelings that are coming up and the triggers that people cause us in the world, whether they're comfortable or uncomfortable, they're teaching us constantly. So when someone comes from a reading and you have that experience and that experience is triggered within you, then you acknowledge what is going on in the person's life in front of you or what the spirit is trying to communicate. So it's all learning. None of it is for waste. So it's just to be aware of that. So like as Yvonne said, she knows when the knots are there. She knows the anxiety is there. She knows which family member it's for, and she goes with it. I just learned to get on with it. And how I get on with it is I ground my day. I do normal stuff. I walk my dogs. I garden. I clean. I listen to music. I do things that are earthly. If you go in your head and you're trying to figure out who this belongs to and what are they doing and they attacking me and now, you will drive yourself crazy. You are going to feel things, especially with your tribe, especially with those close to you. You are automatically going to connect to it. You're automatically going to feel it. So it's just about acknowledging it, accepting it, not trying to change it, warp it, do anything with it. If you go into the sense and feeling that you're not protected and, there's something, please don't go down that road. If you can't believe in God and believe in safety and believe in love and have fear and distrust of attack at the same time, you have to choose one. You're either safe or you're not. You're either connected in with a God who loves and knows you're safe and all that kind of feelings, or you're being attacked by your own ego. So you have to choose which one. So feeling feelings are not a form of attack. Our attack comes from our own mind and how we use that information and turn it upon ourselves. So if I sense a feeling of that anxiety that I wake up and I go into a feeling going, oh my God, I can't deal with this, I can't cope, and I feel absolutely awful, and I go into this attack about myself and my doubts and my fears, that is how it harms us. So the only form of protection is to strengthen your mind. Understand emotions are going to come and go. They're here to teach us. If we get lost in them, they're here to, people have to trigger us. We're triggered all the time. It's normal to be triggered. So it's to trust and use that triggering in a form of healing. So yes, you can say prayers. I mean, my husband is a fireman, and there used to be time I'd be lying beside him and the anxiety on my skin, I'd be hopping out of it. And what I used to do was imagine a bubble going around me and imagine a bubble going around him and just trying to breathe. But what it's doing is his anxiety is drawing out my anxiety. So it's not that he's putting something in there, it's drawing mine up, and I don't want to deal with my anxiety for that thing at that time of the night. It's uncomfortable and no. So I go into a separate room. So I blame him and it's his. So nobody in this world has the power to make you feel anything. Those feelings are already in us, and we react to certain situations around us. So it's in order to work with that and strengthen our boundaries. But we can't switch off. We can't say stop feeling, because you're trying to learn to feel more and more and more so that you can connect on a spirit level, on your sixth sense, and use those senses that you wouldn't be used to using. So if you blame your family and it's their fault and they're doing this and things are obviously happening. I come from a family of 7 children. There are things, constant drama that's happening. Today something particular has happened and it's triggered, and I was going around annoyed today. But that's my irritation. There's irritation already within me, and a situation triggers it. So I would have that in there. And then when that's gone, it'll be something else and something else. So it's just about working with our feelings. So, but to be mindful not to use spiritualism or our spirit work to escape from dealing with our life and to deal with those feelings and the situations that are coming up. And if you think you have to be zen and in this perfect, beautiful space all the time to read, then you're not going to learn, because I've been in situations and demonstrations where the people I'm working with and dealing with, they're not zen. They're very uncomfortable, and you have to learn to work in that energy when it feels low and it doesn't feel too high, and you have to work with that. Because it's the best teaching. It's teaching you. Everything is teaching you. So I hope you take these lessons, and what I'm saying from my own experience is that each day is a learning school. We're in school, we're learning all the time. Anything that is triggered within us is an opportunity of growth and an opportunity of healing. The only way someone can hurt us, or like this protection thing that we have to put around us that I hear people saying all the time, I need to protect myself. Protecting ourselves is a form to say I'm in fear of attack. Now, obviously, I've been in situations where people are mean and people are manipulative, and they're intentionally, from their own self, doing something towards me. But I still have the power of reaction. I still have that's within me on how I react. Doesn't mean I'm weak, doesn't mean strong, doesn't mean anything. If your reactions make you feel crap, and if your reactions make you feel powerless, then it's about understanding your perception needs to change. The situation can't change, it is as it is. But the power of the mind can change on how you see it and how you feel in it. So we always have power in every situation, even if it's just the power of acceptance. And I think the power of the serenity prayer is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The wisdom, the courage to change what I can and the wisdom to know the difference. I hope I didn't say that wrong. So use prayer. But we're not always going to feel 100% when we're going to do readings. We're not always going to feel 100% when we're connecting in with spirit. So when I'm not feeling 100%, I come out to my cabin, I sit here, and it's like I open up my heart and I go, here's all the crap that's inside it. Look at it. I come to you this way. I'm not coming to you pretending I'm feeling 100% or pretending I'm feeling normal when I'm not. So be as you are. When we use the word should, I should be this way, should be that way, it's just more guilt and more feelings. And your family are mirrors. Everyone around us are mirrors. So use everything as an opportunity to growth. So I hope this helps in some way. There is no magic wand. There is no nothing. Just don't go down the rabbit hole trying to change what you're feeling. You have to accept what is. So in that moment, like today, I accept I was irritated by a certain thing I heard and a person who irritates me. But I have irritation inside me. I am reacting to that person because I am uncomfortable. No matter what that person does, it could be someone else beside me and he does the same thing and they're absolutely fine. So why is that? Why am I reacting so strongly? I have different things, different morals, different standards within me. And when someone presses those buttons or goes past that line, I react and I have those feelings. But that person doesn't even know I'm irritated. It's like, as they say, drinking poison, thinking that the other person's going to be affected. That person's getting on with their day, not affected, and I'm going around irritated and bothered. And I cannot blame them for my feelings because they're my feelings, my reaction to that situation. And I can let it go, but I don't want to let it go. And sometimes we have to be aware we want to hold on to those feelings that keep us crappy. We hold it because it's our story and they're making me feel this way and I'm the person in the family that always has to do this. So be careful of your attachment to your story also. Healing, and when you become a healer, whether it's through any form of energy work, any form of spirit work, you're healing, you're trying to undo what was done. In a sense, we have to heal ourselves all the way. We're onion layers. We just layers and layers to us, and we're never quite just fixed. It takes time to do that. So give yourself the time. Just be kind to yourself and just, you know what? As soon as you go into us and them and the separation, we've gone pure into ego. Pure into ego. And as I said, be careful of the spiritualist ego. I'm better. They're not. So pray for them. But your reactions are your teachings and their opportunities. And as you are going into a reading, there's loads of little tools you can use. You can ask people what they use when to release a day from themselves when they're coming in to do a reading. Sometimes I just honestly use Linda Howie meditation, wipe off the day, or I imagine I have a sliding door, and as I'm closing this door, I'm leaving my outside stuff out here. I say prayers. I'm in my head is in a heavy space. If I just had an argument, I'd be just going, you know what? I'm going to ask and do my very best in what I'm in right now. And that's all we can do. That's it. Come as you are and you will meet the person where they are. Hope this helps, guys. Have a good day. Take care.